Hello and welcome back to Cardboard Decoy Plays Kerbal Space Program. I am in the process of getting in position for my last maneuver to head towards Minmus. It took me almost exactly 40 minutes to circularize and correct the plane of my orbit here. Just to give you an idea of what kind of obsessive nonsense I have dedicated to this game at this point. I'm sitting here like watching this thing going around and I'm watching the timer on my recording and I'm like, man, I remember spending like pretty much exactly this time slot on Sundays waiting for new episodes of The Simpsons. What happened? What has my life become? Well, I don't really mind. It's actually kind of fun. So we have a delta V requirement of 58.2 meters per second, which means we need to fire for about 58.2 seconds. So we just need to get close enough to our node to cut that in half. So that is what, 25 plus 4, 29 seconds. So at about 29 seconds we can start firing, and then we should have our Minmus encounter just right. And of course we'll be watching our map to make sure that that is the case. In which case, up. Let's see, gotta kill that. Okay, there we go. Our pitch is good. Now we just need to yaw over a little bit. And look at this, we're not even through a full tank of gas yet. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, we're almost exactly halfway through one or two of these, so that means we've barely used up one whole tank of this to move this much mass to Minmus, which is interesting in and of itself. And I mean, that is of course no small there's no understating the value of these engines here and their place in this whole thing. So they are incredibly hyper efficient. If we were using any other engine, we would have already gone through at least one, if not two or three of these tanks to just get here, which would barely leave us with enough to be able to get to Minmus proper and then set up an orbit. And then we'd have a bunch of empty tanks, so we'd have to send up more fuel anyways. Whereas as of right now, for something small like cruisers and landers, we've got enough fuel for quite a few missions, so we're not too worried about that, are we? Good stuff. So, yes. Once we get to Minmus, the first thing we'll want to do is start sending a convoy. Since it takes multiple days, right now we're at 17 days for this behemoth to get to Minmus. Keep in mind, it did take me about 5 or 6 total passes around Kerbin in order to set up enough of a orbital velocity to be able to get out here to the 300 and some odd kilometer range. So that took a lot of time, but actually moving around at the speeds required to acquire a relatively efficient Minmus encounter still took quite a while. So yeah, it's once you get to the peak of those orbits, you're only going about 80 meters per second, unless you like rounded it out on both sides as you went around. But I figured I didn't want to use all that monopropellant. Why do that if you don't have to? So let's see, we're just about lined up here. Ooh, oh man, the tension. So yeah, once we get there, we'll come up with a convoy of things that we want to send, which is going to be cruiser, lander drone, and then of course our actual take back science motherships. And those will be a succession of 1, 2, 3, 4 different objects, I imagine. So of course the last two probably won't go until after we've done some research and we have a really good idea of how many biomes. I'm trying not to use a map. Since I got this satellite mod, that is enough map for me for the time being. I do not feel the need to go to the wiki. Instead, I will just take notes, very studious notes, and hopefully be able to determine enough biomes to get like a couple thousand science and basically wipe out the next tier of the text tree. So once we have that, then we can start trying some interplanetary stuff. That ought to be really interesting, or at the very least sending satellites out to everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean, of course, other planets and their constituent moons, and that'll be its own thing. That'll be really interesting, I'm sure. So let's see. I don't quite feel comfortable with this lineup just yet, so I'm trying to nudge it. Okay. And nudge it back. Whoa. Okay. There we go. That's about as close as we're going to get, I think. So let's go ahead and time warp to our node here in an hour and 20 minutes. 19, 18, 72. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're going real fast now. Alright, we don't want to go too terribly fast. So again, we need 58 meters a second, so that means 29 seconds on the clock whenever we do want to actually start firing. So at about 30 seconds, we will fire from this position, and then switch to map mode and watch us get closer and closer to Minmus until we have an orbit that we will be comfortable with. So, or maybe not an orbit per se, but an encounter we're comfortable with that'll hopefully put us at a decent apoapsis that will allow us, or periapsis I should say, that's about where we want to be in our final orbit, which I'm thinking is about 120 kilometers, which is pretty far from Minmus. It's going to make us really slow. But my theory is, since Minmus is so small, we're not really going to have to worry. So it'll be a lot easier to catch from low orbit altitudes. If we're going only like 300 meters per second in a ship that's trying to actually reach the station, then what that's going to basically imply is it's just going to be really easy to set up those courses without any issue whatsoever. So, and I like that a lot, and we'll see it in practice probably. So basically this station is going to be essentially speedless in orbit, or at least for our purposes. It's going to be very slow. We have our satellite over there. We can check where it is. It's at about 240,000 kilometers, which is just about exactly where I wanted that for scanning purposes. And I think it's only moving like probably 50, 60 meters per second over the surface of Minmus. So very, very slow, in other words, and not necessarily in a bad way. So here we go. We are at the amount of acceleration that we want for this thing. This freaking huge monstrosity of a space station that I've concocted here. And we're only 7 minutes into the video. This is really good. Okay, so we should be able to achieve orbit by the end of this video. I might have to do some circularizing off camera, but the voyage of the Minmus station will be complete for our purposes. And then I'm probably going to take a break from this game for a while, because I have been playing it non-stop through my sickness, which is already getting better, and we're not even into Monday yet. So, yeah, now that that's no longer an issue, I might take a break, and if y'all see another series pop up around this time, which is right about the time that we ended Nemoria. Yeah, the last episode of Nemoria was today. So if y'all see another series pop up within the next week after Nemoria ended, it's because I took a break from this for a little bit to kind of put it down, because I am well over a month ahead in advance in my videos, and I figure it's time to let it catch up. Plus, you know, what a way to leave it with a bang here. Episode 61, where I usually kill most series, then with a successful entire station moving relocation? I don't know. Terms. We moved an entire space station into orbit around a satellite of Kerbal. Okay, why is it not? There we go. There we go. Okay, I was getting real worried. Okay, are we stopped? Let me do a little bit more here. Oh my goodness. Can we not oscillate for about a half a second, please? Let's see. Periapsis is really, really low. So I'm just doing a very tiny amount of acceleration. Okay. Minmus periapsis. 33 kilometers. Minmus periapsis. Man, what is going on here? Okay, hold on. Let me get rid of this. That's going to send us around the sun if we miss, so we don't want to do that. Okay, that looks like that's probably going to be as good as we want it to be. I'm hoping once we get a little bit closer it'll make more sense, but I think we can work with this, and so we shall. Let me go ahead and try to add a maneuver here that's basically going to allow us to see where we want to point. Okay. Whoa, Jesus. Can't get crazier than that, huh? Alright, no, that's not going to happen. Let's go ahead and we're going to speed up time considerably here. Oh, there I am. I'm way over there. Alright. Okay. And yes, we're going to switch focus to Minmus. And we are going to see exactly what's going to happen here. Ah, yes, here we go. Now we can see where we're going to be around Minmus. And we're going to add a maneuver. Let's get rid of this one. And a Minmus periapsis, we want to add a maneuver. It's going to give us a stable orbit. Woo! At about the 120 kilometer mark. So there we go. And again, just to give us an idea of how fast or how long we need to fire for. So let's go out a little bit. Ooh, well, no, I need a mouse wheel over here. Okay, cool. Yeah, and again, we'll be cruising around like the outside of Minmus at about 10k kilometers. So it'll be really, we'll have enough of a speed differential. Unfortunately, what's the velocity? Yeah, 74 meters per second, which means we'll have probably a little more than double that, if I had to guess. So like 150, 160 meters per second, which is real slow. And near the surface, we'll have like 320, which is twice as fast. So we'll make rotations in half the time as the station, and that'll be really good. So let's go ahead and speed it up until we get this encounter here. Oh wait, no, we actually need to turn. Whoa, easy. Oh, it's still super unstable. That's fine. Let's go ahead and we're going to turn and get into position. We still 6 days out, so unless it takes me 36 hours to make this adjustment, we don't have anything to worry about. Okay, that's 36 hours real time, mind you. So, I highly doubt that'll be the case, and if so, then we're in for a long journey. Check the time for whenever this video is about to end, and hold on to your butts, because it could be a little bumpy from here on out. Let's see. Okay. Very slowly getting into position here. As per the usual for making these adjustments with a huge amount of mass. So technically, if we were like real spacefaring kind of pilots, this would be how slow all movements would be, no matter how big you are, just because it wouldn't use that much propellant. But since generally we're doing this in a very hurried and impatient pace, I have a tendency to err on the side of timeliness, so we would be turning a lot faster in anything that was smaller than this. Okay. Plus, yeah, trying to overcorrect for an overcorrection would just be absolutely catastrophic in this vehicle, so, you know, you only get one chance, basically. That's kind of the idea behind this. Okay. We're going to try to locate an average location, which I think I have an idea of about where we want to aim for this. So that is what I am shooting for. Okay. Ooh. Alright. That might do it. Got a little bit of wobble, but that's fine. This is the kind of thing I really wanted to do. Like, if there's a way to make this more solid, that would be even better. Like, actually having plates and stuff to install and that kind of a deal. That would be real cool. But, I mean, imagine actually being able to build, like, you know, a Star Destroyer or something. I'm sure people have already done it. But is it to scale is my question. Because rendering in Kerbal Space Program could be a little iffy. Also, things like EVE Online. EVE Online has some really impressive ships that I've been tempted to try to make. Like, there's a few, you can look them up. The Myrmidon is the big one that I would want to try to replicate. Or pretty much all of the, what is it? Galarian? I can't remember. They start with a G. It was the race I played. And they have all the teal ships, which happens to be possibly my most favorite of all colors. And they have a bunch of, like, they're non-central mass kind of ships. Like, everything has got kind of a crazy shape to it, and it would be quite the challenge to actually try to replicate them using Kerbal physics. And that's something I've always kind of been like, you know, I could go for it. I could definitely go for it. I think it would be a lot of fun to try to make some of those that are just, they've got this crazy mass differential, mass and thrust balance. That would just be a lot of fun, I think, to fly around. And so at some point I might try to make some of those, and that'd be a lot of interestingness to participate in. Excuse me. Alright, we're about where I wanted to be based on where it was kind of shuddering around earlier. Yeah, see, once it sort of stabilizes, now it's moved up a little bit. I could have sworn it was about where my pointer is now. Alright. And let's just go ahead and kill it. Alright. And fast forward some. Okay, don't want to go too fast, so I'm taking it easy here. Okay. Just like this. Nice and easy. We're going to slow down considerably here. So we're matching orbital velocities with Minmus, which is 274.1 meters per second. We are pretty dang close to that. Okay, here we go. We are approaching a Minmus SOI switch here. Okay. And whammy. Good stuff. Alright. And look at how much our map has been completed. Isn't that something magical? I appreciate it a lot. And look, our pointer is just about where we wanted it to be all along. So we are good. Things are going to stabilize, and we will fire in 1 day, 3 hours, 43 minutes, and some amount of seconds they aren't displaying for me. So let's go ahead and time warp a little bit more. Okay. Very easy. Very, very gentle with our time warp. We do not want to miss this window. Alright. Okay. There we go. Times 1,000. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow it all down very quickly. So now we're at times 10. And yeah, 53 seconds. That's 27 roughly. So 27 seconds is when we will begin our fire. We're under acceleration for some reason. There we go. It usually means we're still wiggling a little violently, so as long as we can time accelerate, we're fine. Now, I've been totally using the time acceleration heading hacks, at least with this thing, because really I don't want it to shake apart. Can you blame me? At this point, I really just want it to like function appropriately. That's all. Nothing major. Is that too much to ask? I am a proud space station papa after all, so. Okay. Wait, where is this orbit going? Is this immediately? Yeah, we're getting a Kerbal escape if we miss this. And then we will float around the sun indefinitely. That would be a lot of fun, but not really what I'm into. So, okay. Let's go ahead and time warp times 10. Time warp times 100. No, this is just 50. 100 might be too fast. No, it's just fast enough. We don't want to go to 1,000 at this point, though. I could totally lose it at that point. So we're going to wait here while this counts down the minutes in place of seconds. And yeah, we've got 2 minutes left on this video. Not a big deal. It's just enough time to be able to close up this orbit, and then we can all celebrate our success here. Or at least my success, your success. Your success because enough people watch this to actually warrant me continuing to play this game. So, not that I wouldn't play this game if I wasn't recording it, but yeah, my attention span is pretty limited. So it's always good to have a focus like this. I gotta say, it's maybe a little therapeutic, you know? I'm not exactly in the Let's Play game to be world famous or anything. I somehow doubt that will ever be the case. But, you know, it is nice and therapeutic, and it gives me just enough justification for some of my games to enjoy some that I wouldn't otherwise. Kind of like this. So, yeah, I appreciate it. This is your victory too, otherwise I would not have actually probably gone through and gotten this far in this game. Okay, so 44 minutes, and 40 minutes. Alright, I'm not going faster than 100. I'm getting really tempted to, like, speed it up just a teensy bit, like, maybe that? Okay, yep, no, I'll slow it back down. Made me nervous. Alright, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, cool. Slow it all the way down. Make sure we do every adjustment that we want to do. And we are just about pointed where we want to be. That's close enough. We'll probably make do. We also want to flatten out our orbit to match... actually, we probably want it to match the angular tilt from Kerbal in general. Except, as we go around the planet, that won't make any sense. Because it'll just tilt with us as we continue on around Kerbal. So we won't do that. Never mind. Okay. 27 seconds is the magic number. And, yeah, this video is exactly 20 minutes. Right about that time, actually. Is that right? No, wait, right now? Maybe. I don't know. Double check. Leave a comment. I don't know. Something or other. Okay, so... Okay, 30 seconds. 29. Why is it going slower than normal seconds? 28. 27. And we begin firing. Okay, SAS is on. This is fine. Slowly bringing this up. Big, giant, shuddery purple line is starting to go away. This is a good sign. It means we are not going to quite be making it around the sun today. Okay, and a little bit more thrust. Okay, now there we are in Kerbin's SOI still. But we're no longer going around the sun, so we're relatively safe. Most of the woods have been surmounted. Alright, and there we go. We now have a Minmus orbit. Let's watch our apoapsis. I'm going to go ahead and kill that and just watch this manually. Our periapsis is also shrinking. That's good news. It'll be a little bit easier to make that maneuver once we get around. And we just got to bring it on home. Alright. And come on. You can do it. It's okay, sweetie. Okay, and they're going to swap here pretty soon. Oh man. This is a real accomplishment for me in this game. Look at this. Is that not the most majestic thing you've ever seen? We've made it all the way from Kerbin to Minmus. This huge frickin' ship on barely a tank of gas. Like a tank of gas and some change, really. Still, not a whole lot. That's something, that's special stuff right there. Okay, so what did we say? 120? It's about half what we have here. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, so let me just go ahead and continue firing until this drops down to the 120 range. Okay. And come on, you can do it. It's okay. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and there we go. Close enough for me. Alright, close enough to P, close enough for me. Sure. Okay. Alright, cool. And then I'll just turn this ship around, circularize this orbit, flatten it out a little bit, and we will have our Minmus station in place. And man, let me tell you, that feels real good. Yeah, just a little over one whole tank of fuel to do it. That feels even better. So, yeah, imagine taking normal rockets and, you know, do the math, figure out the best way to, like, use up the fuel and efficiency and everything else, and then just having one tank drag all of this stuff over. That'd be crazy. It'd be totally nuts. It'd be really cool, but totally nuts. Still, very, very fun. I enjoyed it. That was a good little trip. Thank you for joining me for that. This has been Kerbal Decoy playing Kerbal Space Program, and when we come back, we will begin designing our convoy to come up here, meet up with this ship, and then explore the crap out of Minmus. See all there is to see. Grab some chocolate chip mint ice cream for the occasion. It's gonna be fun. I will see you then. Have fun.